Some people will tell you Japan's Golden Route is a tourist trap that is overdone and not the best way to see the country. After spending 2 weeks navigating it, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree. Over the next 4 videos, I'm taking you through our entire journey, from the organized chaos of Tokyo to the incredible street food of Osaka, plus the accommodation and tips that you need to know. But let's be real, traveling with a big family, well, not every single moment goes exactly as planned. But before we get to the highlights and the hiccups, we actually have to get there first. And for this, I challenged my daughters to actually lead the way of navigating us through the airport. All right, get us to the plane. This is your challenge.
What?
You did good, baby. You did good. Where are we gonna go now?
I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on. Let's go.
Now, in this video, I'm going to be sharing some valuable lessons that we learned along the way. And the first few are going to be about flying with an economy carrier, airport issues, and costs. So, if you don't want any flight advice, jump to this timestamp to skip this mini review and lessons learned about flying to and from Japan. Okay, ready? So, our first flight departed Melbourne at 6 AM, landing in Cairns at 9 AM. This was pretty standard Jetstar A320 economy offering, with a prepaid meal which I gotta say was delicious. Seriously, go for the ham and cheese toasty and you won't regret it. Facilities are compact along with that seat pitch. Now here's where things became weird in my playbook. Previously, when I've flown international with the one carrier, I expect them to check my bag all the way through from the departing airport to the final destination. But not with Jetstar, no. Here, we had to collect our bags in Cairns, traverse 400 meters from the domestic terminal to the international one, and then redo check-in procedures. Maybe it's because of passport control, or very likely it's because the additional costs they shield from you. Anyway, it wasn't that much of a big deal in this direction, but on the return, well, more on that later. After a 3-hour layover, the next Jetstar flight, JQ25 and return version number 26, passed quickly, and we were finally on our way to Japan. This Airbus 787 Series 8 was again compact with only just enough knee room for my 170cm frame. Service was warm, friendly and professional, which is more than can be said for this lasagna. Definitely skip this one, folks. Toilets were standard fare and the 7-hour 30-minute flight was uneventful. Obviously the return flights were the same experience, more on this soon, but here's how much we paid for a family of 6 from Melbourne to Japan return. Pretty cheap really. Now, one thing I knew taking Jetstar was that they fly into Narita Airport instead of Haneda. Located about 70 kilometers from Tokyo, it costs more in time and money to get to your final destination. Whereas if we flew with a major player like Qantas, we could have flown into Haneda, which means transfers from the airport to Tokyo would only take 20 minutes, instead of 45 minutes to even a few hours. Plus fares that would have been 2 to 5 times less expensive. Now, here's something that I would do differently next time. Flying up to Japan was fine, a good saving, and the trip on the Kasai Skyliner was fast and a good first taste of what good public transport looks like in Japan. But the return journey, we should have opted for a flight from Osaka instead of spending half a day getting back to Narita, and a direct flight home. The layover after an overnight flight where none of us really got any sleep was hard. My family crashed out on some very uncomfortable seats in the airport where once again we had to go pick up our bags, transport them to the domestic terminal, check them again, wait around 6 hours to to finally get back home mid-afternoon. Anyway, now we know, now you know. So after navigating from the airport using the quickest way possible, we walked the streets to our accommodation in Nishi-Nibori in Arakawa City. I'm going to have a separate video showing this and our site accommodation that's out soon, so subscribe. So that concluded our first day of just getting to Japan. Along the way we did stop at a vending machine, which is kind of novel and fun and very cheap. And now was the time to put into action my very detailed itinerary. They say a trip to Japan is a journey through time, littered with monuments to the past, but there's some modern magic here too. Tokyo Disney parks are legendary for a reason. They're unique to this world, so we split our time between the old and the new, dedicating days 2 and 7 to the parks. And here's what we enjoyed. Now I won't show you everything that we did at Tokyo Disney Sea, but know this. Some of the rides at this park are unique and only found here. So things like Journey to the Center of the Earth, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, there's a few others, I forget. Really unique and really amazing experiences. So Caitlin got to experience her first upside down roller coaster. First upside down roller coaster! Now I'm going to give you some tips very soon about how to make the most out of your day at Tokyo Disneyland or Disney Sea, but we did use some lightning lane passes and paid for fast passes.
My legs are tired.
Did you think, guys?
It's good.
What did you think, Caitlin?
I loved it.
You like it? Mummy, good ride for you.
That was really nice.
Beautiful ride.
Sure, but worth it. A day spent at Disney is a day doing thousands of steps, so we made sure we kept ourselves hydrated and fed and took the occasional picture.
Are you having a good day?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's been your favourite ride so far?
The Rapunzel one.
Yeah?
No. The water park. Water one.
The water one? What's so yeah?
Either the one that we went 360 or the Tower of Terror.
How about you, Mummy?
Teacups.
Teacup.
Although they weren't really teacups, so something else. There were teacups in that place for your hanging while you were doing other ones.
Yeah. What's been your favourite ride today?
Tower Terror.
Tower Terror?
Yep.
I thought the beauty of the Rapunzel one was very good, but too short. So I'm fascinated to see Frozen because I think it's supposed to be the best one.
As we wrap up our day at Tokyo Disney Sea, here's a few top tips for you. First of all, if you only get to go once, you've got to stay the whole day. We were there from rope drop all the way through to the end of the day, and yes, we were extremely tired, but it was so worth it. When we went, the new area, Fantasy Springs, had just opened. As soon as you get into the park, jump into the app and start getting standby passes, fast passes, you name it, especially for rides like Frozen, Peter Pan, Rapunzel, so that you can actually get past all this queue, which is quite literally the only way you can get in is one of those passes, so do that and do it really well. The popcorn, Didn't feature in the video, but we enjoyed it. There were some weird flavors, but some very interesting ones. And get one of the take-home boxes that you can actually have as a souvenir. Only about $20 to $30. Great little thing to remember your trip by. And of all the Disneys that I've been to in my life, this is by far the best one. It's unique. It is a little bit barren, a little bit concrete in places, so bring an umbrella, but well worth a great day out, especially if this is something that is probably a one-time for you. Okay, fast forwarding to day 7, and how do you get to the front of the queue like this? Simple. You get up at 5:30 in the morning, and you get a 6 a.m. train, you go wait in queue for your family, and they join you around 8 o'clock, 8:30 for a leisurely entrance into Tokyo Disneyland. Like I mentioned before, top tips include using the app, and as soon as you get inside of the park, because it is geo-fenced, get online and try to get the standby lottery tickets, maybe purchase some premier access tickets that you have to pay for, go to the top rides that everyone wants to go on. So this is like Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast, really awesome ride. Pooh's Honey Hunt, too short but very good. Go on weekdays like Tuesday through Friday. Avoid holidays, particularly Japan's Golden Week. And yeah, just enjoy your day, because this too is a really fantastic example of how Disneyland can be so good, and it costs way less than almost all the others around the world. As we leave Tokyo Disneyland, I'm going to talk about public transport. But first, coming soon, we're going to have an awesome day at Team Lab Planets, explore Ginza, the Imperial Palace, and finish off in Akihabara. Getting around on public transport in Japan is both cheap and easy. You can pay for each trip with cash, or you can add it to your digital wallet such as Apple or Google Pay. But when we were there was no Google Pay because we were Team Android at the time, so we had to pick up at the airport a physical Suica or Pasmo card, and they can be used both on public transport as well as convenience stores and some vending machines, so very handy and great for kids to get a cheeky little treat without having to ask mum or dad if they could get something. So moving around was very easy. You simply tap on and off, and cost was extremely cheap, mostly. More on that soon. Using our Wonderlog itinerary, I would select the next destination, which would take me to Google Maps, and it would show you in real time where trains or buses are. Seriously, very impressive. What line, what platform to take, even what carriage is best to get on and either find a quiet one or to enable you to make a quick exit at the next station. Signage is in Japanese, I think Chinese, definitely Korean and English, and all you do is look for a yellow exit sign and corresponding number, and it meant that we seldom got lost, mostly. Now here's some top tips. First of all, Food, you do not eat food whilst walking in Japan, and definitely do not consume it on trains, but you can on Shinkansen, so kind of weird that. Talking, definitely discouraged, so you either talk in very quiet, hushed tones or you don't talk at all. And as a tourist, avoid busy times, peak hour. That's anytime between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. Most businesses don't open until 9 or 10 a.m. anyway, so either have a sleep in, have a long, beautiful breakfast, take your time and avoid the rush, because this is what can happen to you. How'd you go with rush hour?
It was a fun experience.
So, Caitlin, how was rush hour?
I hated it.
So, I was very squashed in. Like, I was literally, I couldn't fall over because I had people all around me, and if I put my hands down, I would have had them in someone's crotch. So it was very awkward. I made a new friend, basically. I made 4 new friends, and then when the train got to a stop, I was just herded out with everybody. I could not leave. I mean, like, I could not leave. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
They were pushed off the train, like caught up in the crowd. But when somebody else got off, a seat was free. So I sat down, and I was so tired and I did not want to be squished. But when I saw them getting off, I thought it was because that was our last stop. Like, we had to get off, so I got off my seat to go get them. But then they came back in, and then the seat was taken again. So then I had to be squished again. It was painful.
Up next, Team Lab Planets. After a lot of research, I landed on this one and also the one in Osaka to visit, and no regrets. Highly recommended. Some people watching this video will say, oh, it's a tourist thing, Chris, but I saw many locals there, school groups, and it is a visceral audio-visual experience. Please do remember, this is from September 2024, so the exhibits may have changed. I did check the website and it looks like some things are still there, but others have changed. So again, I would highly recommend doing this. Supposedly the new one in Kyoto is definitely well worth a visit, so check that out too. And I wish I could share the sounds. Made this whole experience simply amazing. Okay, so it's about lunchtime and we're going to take the train back into the city, into the Ginza area. There's like a high-end business district slash expensive shop area. Do a little bit of walking from there to the Imperial Palace and then make our way to Akihabara and finish up exhausted after more than 20,000 steps in a random Japanese restaurant. So I discovered this rooftop garden that's on top of a shopping mall. So we grabbed some lunch downstairs, head upstairs, and it was a lovely oasis, calm, relatively quiet because, well, Tokyo is a bustling city and you've always got that noise of traffic, but it was a welcome respite from the day. Something that I regret doing was the Imperial Palace tour. Now, to get into this, you need to enter the lottery, and you kind of feel very privileged and lucky to be going. But in reality, you only see the outside of the buildings. You're looking at some very beautifully manicured gardens. It's not that interesting, to be honest, and it kind of feels like a school excursion that you'll do once, done, and you'll never do it again in your life. So whilst I do recommend the gardens around the palace, I wouldn't bother with the actual tour. Plus, did I mention how hot it was? When we were in Tokyo in September, mid to late September, it was in the mid 30s, no wind, high humidity. It was really, really hard. And you'll see as many a time looking hot and sweaty with fans, with sun umbrellas for a very good reason. And so I would avoid July and August and maybe even September. You didn't have to, but now you do. So head for October or the shoulder seasons. And if you're a snow bunny, head for winter. Making our way from the Imperial Palace to Akihabara, we went via Tokyo Station. Absolutely stunning place in which to get a photograph. Next up, we did some shopping for some very needed portable fans. You can buy them here, you can buy them there. They're roughly the same price, but if you're going to go in the summer, there's little shade, there's very little wind, you're going to be hot, you're going to be sticky and sweaty. So just get yourself something to keep yourself cool.
French kids.
We visited a games arcade so the girls could have some fun and, well, make up for that Imperial Palace tour that, well, frankly, I'm sorry I put them through. Sorry girls, if you're watching, love you.
We are all so tired. Too much walking today. Caitlin's getting some really bad photographs of us all just dying and not feeling the best. Rachel feels, I think, completely fine. I don't know how she's doing it at the moment. Her back is sore, but she's not the worst one. There you go. Amy is surviving. She's been a real trooper. Sophie's in pain. Not surviving. I'm not surviving, and yeah, anyway.
I'm fine right now.
We're fine now.
I'm fine right now.
Yeah.
Who wants to see the pictures I took?
Yeah, I'll put them on screen now, yeah. And we bowed out to Big Panda because I stuffed up. I didn't reserve for the sushi place. So there you go. You got a book in Japan. So lesson really, really learned. But we had some good Chinese pretty much. Just one dish was not good. Avoid the chili chicken. The chili chicken was terrible, like dry, just
In
bland.
our opinion, just FYI, our opinion.
Wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. And so Sophie didn't touch very much of it all. I tried. I couldn't. Disappointing.
It's kind of like brainwaves.
Yeah, it's like brainwaves gone wrong.
That's offensive to brainwaves.
Yeah, actually, that's true.
Brainwaves is delicious.
That's a good point, though.
Wait, what did that say, Caitlin? What
Anyway,
Extra brainwaves.
yeah, there you go. That's what that looks like. I left that.
Very crispy.
Yeah,
How do you know it's jelly?
I don't know. Anyway, hi. Let's get home.
take any more photos,
You know how I said that public transport in Japan is mostly cheap? Well, if you're a family of 4 or more, consider hiring a car instead. On day 4, we headed south of Tokyo to the seaside town of Kamakura. Using the metro, it can take up to 90 minutes, or an express service like we did, a bit under an hour. But here's the thing, that costs not a few dollars, but 1,040 yen or $9 per person. Multiply that by a family of 5 and you're looking at $50 one way or $100 return. For that much money, we could have hired a car for cheaper, parked it in a car park or 2, paid for petrol, insurance, and seen more of the country. Anyway, top tip for you and lesson learned for us. Being summer, autumn, and stifling hot, we changed our plans and spent a few hours at the beach via a very yummy ice cream shop. I should note that we were going to visit the historic Kotoku site that has the second largest Buddha in Japan at more than 11 meters tall, but didn't bother paying the entry fee as it looked underwhelming from the outside. We did, however, visit the Kamakura Hasadera Buddhist temple that dates back to the 8th century, with beautiful gardens, a hidden feature you'll see shortly, and great views of the town. Then we headed back to Asakusa for one of Japan's best sushi chains, Kura Sushi, and the global flagship store. And let me tell ya, we ate so much food here. I'm talking at least 20 plates, some udon noodles, dumplings, I enjoyed a few beers, Rachel a wine, and the kids some soft drinks. And total cost, just under $70 Australian. Amazing value. Plus, if you order enough, you can enter the lotto system and get some free food or games for the kids. So we walked out of there with such full tummies, really great experience, highly recommend it. And then finally, we visited the Sensoji Temple, Tokyo's oldest site dating back to 645 AD. I've been there before and I know that visiting during the day is a bad idea. That is, unless you like crowds. So we purposely chose to go in the evening, or you also too could go early in the morning and experience it without having to jostle for a good picture.
Just any?
Yep. Put it in. No. You grab this and you shake it. So, shake it. So there you go.
One eternity later.
Hey, you got one. Alright. So now you got to correspond that with one of these drawers.
Oh.
So 9C. Okay? So all the way over here.
Oh, and maybe it's...
And then you read C. So turn it over. It'll be English. You got the best fortune! What does it say?
If you try to become famous, it will come out as you hope. For example, if you have 3 kinds of hope, 3 will be completed. Gods will come, and where he points to, flowers and fruits grow timely. Good fortune will come, and it brings you happiness.
Your wishes will be realized, the sick person will recover, the lost article will be found. Found? Alright.
You get to take it home.
The person you are waiting for will
get to
come,
take the stick
building
too.
a new house
Do
and
you?
removal of wood.
Where else are you going to put it?
I think you're supposed to put the stick back.
Away?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you put the stick back.
Alright.
And of course, we had to get home, and here's what Tokyo looks like late at night when there's very few cars and people around. So that concludes a really successful day 4, despite traveling at least 1 hour in each direction to get to a beach. Next up, we're going to go back in time to the Edo period and end up in the world of Harry Potter. On day 5, we travelled northwest of Tokyo about 40 kilometers or roughly 1 hour on the subway. The town, called Kawagoe, or affectionately called Little Edo, is one of the best places near Tokyo to capture that centuries-old atmosphere, because this used to be a merchant town that escaped much of the destruction from World War II. So looking around, you've got a mixture of old and new, and you really get a sense of the various trades that used to exist here, and well, still do, because you can make chopsticks here, and we shopped for them, and well, didn't buy any, but you know, we were looking. A lot of fun places too, clothes, you name it. It's just a lovely way to spend probably half a day in an outer suburb of Tokyo. There's a famous Toki no Kane, that's the Bell of Time, this 3-story wooden bell tower that has been rebuilt several times due to fires and earthquakes and things like that, and been in this exact place for more than 400 years. But today was really all about the Harry Potter experience by Warner Brothers in that Nerima City zone, about 1 hour back towards home, kind of. Now, a colleague at work told me about this place and said, hey, if you even like the Harry Potter movies or books, you don't even have to love it, you will spend 3 to 4 hours there. And I was thinking, yeah, right, as if. So I booked in for the last available slot at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which turned out to be an absolute blessing because the crowds were nice and quiet, and the remaining 4 hours that it was open was actually enough for us to see everything properly. And I kid you not, we enjoyed every moment of it. It was magnificent. From costumes and props from the actual movies, some magic behind the scenes that you can participate in. It's all here, and look, I could make a whole video about this, but I won't bore you. So here's some highlights, and yeah, if you're even just slightly into the Harry Potter movies, you must go see this because it's a fantastic way to spend at least 4 hours of your day in Tokyo.
What do you want to do?
Punch it.
Wow. Why would you do such a thing?
It is often said to see a city is to walk its streets, and day 6 is exactly what we did. Starting the northwest of the city in Shinjuku and walking down south to Shibuya. Today is going to be filled with literal highs and the lowest of lows. And we kicked it off with gathering in where exactly we are. And in Tokyo, there's plenty of observation decks, most of which you have to pay for. So Shibuya Sky, the Tokyo Sky Tree, the classic Tokyo Tower. But you can do it for free if you go to the Tokyo Government Building. This, up on the 45th floor, has 360-degree views, and on a good day, you can even see Mount Fuji. Here I am trying to point out places where I think I know. Maybe I was wrong, maybe I was right, but nonetheless, there's a cafe up there, good little excursion, spend about half an hour, and it's free. From there, we walked over 2 kilometers to the Meiji Jingu Temple. This is located in the heart of a park, and whilst it had this contrast of an old shrine with massive torii gates, it kind of was a bit underwhelming and not as I remember it. Now, this has only been here since 1920, and realistically, it's just a nice park in which to walk through on your journey towards Harajuku. Now, what trip is not complete without visiting Harajuku? This is Japan's undisputed capital of youth culture, where ancient customs collide with wild street style. It's definitely very touristy. You see some very interesting fashions, and Takashita Street, yes, I said that correctly, is very busy, filled with things like cat cafes, like what we did here, wild street fashion, and lots of interesting food choices, which I didn't film, but we had a really good pancake thing that was really cheap, and unfortunately I didn't get any video, but delicious. Here's some pictures, you get the idea. Meandering away further south, we end up in the heart of the shopping, the hustle and bustle of Shibuya, which is actually a really massive area. And if you go to the station, you're going to get lost. But anyway, recently opened when we were there was a Miyashita Park. This rooftop garden space was kind of interesting. A little bit blank, empty. There was a robot doing the grass. We enjoyed a little drink here and a little bit of time out. And the shops beneath it were eclectic, but also your usual stuff that you can get in Australia or America or London, say. So, worth a visit just to say you've been there, but a must do? Probably not. Now, coming to the must do thing in Japan, and that is the Shibuya Scramble Crossing. Supposedly every set of lights, up to 3,000 people, do a scramble across this multi-intersection space. And is it overwhelming and daunting? No, everyone seems to just navigate beautifully. It looks way more chaotic than what it really is.
Today's challenge is Amy. She's got to find the weirdest item that she could possibly get from one of these gotcha ball machines. I'm really hopeful that she gets something extremely random and weird. So she's got 500 yen. Thank you for finding something really weird. Now choose something you actually want.
Okay. 4 of these.
Yeah, it's $4. Yep.
So all of this.
Yes,
All
4
of
of them.
it.
Yep.
Wait, I got a bird, Dad.
Yeah, okay. Here.
There we go.
There we go. What'd you get?
Oh, I got the hamster. Look at the little hamster. And it comes with a little cake. Look at the little cake.
That's cute.
And then we were going to do dinner. I was hoping to get a cheeky little drink from the Lost Bar from the Japan Abroad chap, Chris Broad, followed by Red Tokyo Tower for a little bit of gaming experience. But unfortunately, my youngest suffered a moderate case of heat stroke. Really very scary, especially when you're in a foreign country. And so we retreated to some air-conditioned space, got some ice, put fans on her, encouraged her to drink, and after about 1 hour, her symptoms subsided, she felt better, and the need to go to an emergency room dissipated. We took a taxi all the way back to our place and just had a nice quiet evening at home. So top tip, always keep your fluids up in Japan. Take care in that heat because it is absolutely stifling and it can catch up on you. And this is something that's very common in Japan to not only tourists but locals as well. And so yeah, take care of yourself. And yeah, let's jump now into day 8 because we've already done Tokyo Disneyland on day 7. Alright, day 8 is going to be a travel day, which I'm going to put in the next video, but before we leave Tokyo, I thought I'd just briefly show you around our accommodation and why I chose it and whether or not you should too. So, located in the north of the city, if you stay in Tokyo, you either got the choice of the east, which is quieter, a bit more older and not bad value, mostly, or you got the west, like Shibuya, Shinjuku area, which is about the same price, but you're going to get a lot smaller. And while the benefit there is that you're around a lot of tourist stuff, but as you saw from our 1 week in Tokyo, we did a lot of day trips. So I purposely chose north of the city because you get way more space for the price and really easy access to the station that was near us. So it was like an easy 10-minute walk, rather scenic, set us up for the day, and then sure, we had the penalty of about 10 or 15 minutes to be able to get to the same place if we were staying in the east or west instead of north, but I was happy with the accommodation because we had space for everybody. The stairs were crazy steep, but I think this is a thing for Japan and very common, and every room had air conditioning, and we didn't need the TV because, well, we were basically out. So if you've ever looked up accommodation options in Tokyo, you're going to know you're either going to get a very tiny room where you can barely even fit your suitcase, or you can pay a bit more money, like this is about $2,000 for the week by the way, and you're going to get a bit more space, but again, you've got to weigh up the pros and cons. So I'll put in a separate video our accommodation, I'll leave a link to it below, and before I see you in the next video, please subscribe, and I'll see you soon.